Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine Tuesday afternoon in December here in the UK. We're back with another Grotmas update. I'm going to try and cover as many, I said to the people last night, I'm going to try and cover as many of these as I possibly can over the course of Grotmas. As long as it's possible to do a stream shortly after the article, we'll do the stream. What we're doing is we're letting the article happen and then going live an hour later, right? So people get a chance to digest, we can then have a chat about it. I could do it live. I could try and do it live. I might try and do it live. I think they are saying what the next army is on each day, so I don't think that breaks any of my NDA stuff. Hey, we're here to talk about the new Grotmas calendar. And yeah, there's no Joe. There is Joe tonight. You will get Joe tonight and Thursday night because he will be doing both the game streams because I won't be present. But there's no Joe today because I'm doing it from home, and I'm doing it from home simply because I have a very sick family. I have incredibly sick kids. I have a very sick family, so I'm spending as little time in the studio as possible this week so I can be on call for the fam like they were for me over the last couple of weeks. So Lucy's not feeling 100%, but she's okay. The kids are really quite bad, actually, to be honest with you. They're in the next room, and I've said to them during the stream, if you need me, come and get me, because they are actually quite bad. Hell of a fever, not eating anything at all. And my kids are normally like fucking ravenous termites, so when they're not eating any food, you know there's something wrong. Which means there's no Liam and Joe shows this week, but we are still doing streams, okay? We're still here to cover content and talk about things and stuff. And today it's Grotmas Day 3? Yeah, it's the 3rd, isn't it? Yeah, Day 3 of Grotmas. If you're unaware, on the GW preview show a couple of weeks ago on Friday, they talked about how they were going to be dropping a new detachment, 30 new detachments, in fact, I think they said, throughout the month of December as part of their Grotmas calendar. And so far we've had Death Guard and Dark Angels. Now, my opinions, as we covered last night on the stream, and you can watch that back if you want, and if you watch perhaps the first half an hour, I think you'll get most of the info out of it. My opinion so far is that they're actually all right. The detachments aren't broken good. They're not auto takes. They're not stupidly powerful. They're okay. The narrative, they're fun. They add a different dimension. And I think if they can continue to do that throughout the whole of Grotmas, GW have actually done a good job, right? Which is rare that we say that. Today, however, is the turn of something Xenos. We've had Chaos, we've had Loyalists, it's now something Xenos. And today it's the turn of the Tyranids. We're going to cover the Tyranids off in just a minute. If we haven't already, however, before we get into it, please make sure you smash all those magical YouTube buttons for us. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. We've got 85 people live right now, 29 likes. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel. Apparently, there's a thing now. Apparently, if you say please subscribe and you're not, and someone's watching who's not subscribed, the button like glows. I don't know how true that is. So, one of my favorite creators I was watching the other day says that that's now a thing, and he was testing it. No idea if it's true or not. So please hit that subscribe button. Our subscriber numbers are in the fucking toilet, chat. For Christmas, if everyone can go and find 5 Warhammer friends who don't know about the channel and tell them about the channel, that'd be super helpful, right? Super helpful. And then please, if you want to be notified every single time we go live dropping a video, you can hit that bell notification icon. Alternatively, if you become a member of the Great Hall, we have membership goals all the time because it's what keeps the lights on in the studio. But if you become a member of the Great Hall, then you can hit the reaction rolls in Discord, and then you will you'll be notified not only when we go live or drop a new video, but also when we schedule a new stream. So you can actually be prepped in time, cup of tea in hand, ready to go for new stream, right? Is it me or some channels pre-prime with this info? Titans and TTT seem to have their videos out very quickly. So Brother Erlen, some people do have early access. GW have, I think I'm okay saying this, GW have been selective as to who gets early access. I am lucky enough to have early access. I could do a pre-recorded video for each Grotmas article, but I prefer putting it on the screen, and I don't have access to something that I can put on the screen until the article goes live. I'd like to read through it with you people. So I can have it pre-read and ready to go for 12, and I'll go live at 12 and have it on the screen, I guess. I could do that. But I like to put it up on screen, and the copy that I have, because of leaky people, the copy that I have has got my name plastered all over it, and rightly so. So I can't share it with people, and I'm not allowed to use it in content, right? So I do have access to all of them. Not all of them, that's a lie. I have access to some of them already, but I want to put them up on screen, which is the only reason why I'm giving it an hour and then going live at 1. Also means that, you know, people mostly across the US can join us for nearly normal Liam and Joe times as well, right? Does that make sense? So they haven't given out to everybody. They've given it out to select people. They're being tighter with the info nowadays, and I 100% think they should be, and I applaud them for it. They're not giving it to everyone. They're being very strict about who's allowed to see it. They even say to you, please don't use this content with guests who aren't under NDA, etc. So, you know, I think GW are making the right moves there, and I'm behind 100% behind anything they do to try and reduce leakiness, because I don't like leakiness. Like, for example, right, slight addendum before we jump into the Tyranid detachment. Okay, I was incredibly unwell when I did the reveal show, and yet that is probably some of the most excited I've ever been for Warhammer stuff in forever. And the reason for that excitement is predominantly down to the fact that actually I, with the exception of Fugan, hadn't seen any of it at all. And Fugan, I only saw Fugan because it was leaked, and that makes me sad, because now I go back and I look at the Phoenix Lords and all the Aspect Warriors for Eldar, for example, and I think actually one of my favourite new sculpts out of all of them is Fugan, but I kind of was like, my favourite's actually Azuman, and the reason being is because I'd seen Fugan a couple of weeks beforehand because some dickhead decided to leak it, and kind of remove some of the excitement. I think if you see Fugan the same time as you see Azuman, and you see, I can't remember what Spider Lady's called, etc. If you see him at the same time, you're like, Fugan's actually a fucking baller model. It's beautiful, but some of that excitement was pulled away from leaking. Seeing all the Death Corps of Krieg and the rest of the Eldar for the first time, I was literally fucking blown away by it. Like, incredible stuff. So anything GW want to do to try and reduce leaks, I'm here for it, 100%, without doubt. Right? Cool. Anywho. Thank you, we're up to 55 likes, chat, halfway down the like tree, and Gareth has kicked us off with a single gifted membership. Just the one, actually. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump into the Tyranid detachment. Whilst I'm in the Tyranid detachment, if everyone who's watching just gifts 5 memberships, we'll probably hit our target, right? At the end of me talking about the Tyranid detachment, I can thank you all for all the gifted. Relax, as I know that I've already hit 100 gifted. That's amazing. And then what you can all do is you can colourful postcard in to tell me what you think about the detachment. Seems fair, right? Seems fair. We're here to entertain you people. You pay for it. Right? Anyway, I'm going to pull the detachment up right about meow. And we're going to screen share. And we've got the Grotmas calendar day 3, a festive feast with the Tyranids. Okay, so this is a quick little article that they throw up about the particular detachment. Tyranid warriors are the order of the day in the 3rd installment of Grotmas calendar. It's the warrior bioform onslaught. So this is the detachment. So obviously it's going to focus on warriors. It goes into some detail. I quite like adding a little bit of narrative to it, despite the fact it doesn't really add anything at all. None of the synapse beasts of the high fleets are more prevalent than the Tyranid warriors, which, as we all know, don't really get used right now. They don't really see table time. Lethal killing machines, which they're not, in their own right, they serve not only as instruments of destruction, but as relay nodes through which the will of the hive mind transmits. Armed with an array of devastating weaponized biomorphs, broods of Tyranid warriors slaughter their way through any resistance and open a path for hordes of Hormagaunts and Termagants to obliterate all remaining resistance. Tyranid warriors and winged Tyranid Prime gain extra protection to enact the hive mind's will in this detachment with a 5+ invulnerable save to protect them as the leaders of this force. Warriors also gain the battle line keyword and an increased objective control characteristic. Tasty. When Tyranid warriors are put into such a place of leadership within the hive mind, other units adapt. An example of this is a synaptic tyrant enhancement that allows a neuro tyrant to join a Tyranid warriors unit, granting its bonuses to the unit as a whole. To express their synaptic control, commanders of this detachment can use a synaptic amplification stratagem to give both one Tyranid warriors unit and one endless multitude unit within 6 inches the ability to reroll wounds once per for one phase. Sorry. So we'll jump into this. So essentially what's happened here is Games Workshop have recognised that Tyranid warriors are not getting used. My personal belief is, and this is a personal belief, my personal belief is that Tyranid warriors in this edition of the game stopping being battle line was a mistake. And I don't think it was a good choice. Their data sheets aren't good enough to allow them to compete with basically anything else in the codex in the other data sheet section. Battleline would have perhaps made them usable for things like certain secondaries, for things like certain ways that it plays in Prior Nexus. Having Battleline as a keyword would have been useful. This doesn't fix the problem necessarily, but it does help. And if we talk about the Death Guard and the Dark Angels detachment, this could be quite narrative, which I'm a huge fan of.
People leaking made a lot more sense before the constant drip feed of content from Warcom.
Yeah. Thanks, Brilliant. Thanks for kicking off the super chat, dude, for the five. With the 5, you're a legend. So, do I think this fixes warriors? No. Does it give people with lots of warriors a detachment that's significantly more usable, fun narrative? I think so. Let's have a look at what the detachment actually does then. So if we click on the Documente and we click into Tyranid, it annoys me by the way, it doesn't put these in order. Come on, GW, stop fucking about. So Tyranids, warrior bioform, onslaught, and leader beasts is the detachment rule. Tyranid warriors, see below, and winged Tyranid primates from your army have a 5+ invulnerable save. Now, warriors do die very, very quickly, and I think they normally have a 4+ armor save. So giving them a 5+ invulnerable save is much better. It makes them essentially immune to anything AP2 and above because they have a 5+ invulnerable save, right? Which is a bonus. So AP1 still impacts them, drops them from their 4+ armor to 5+, but then they have an invulnerable save, which is really, really good. Tyranid warriors with ranged bioweapons and Tyranid warriors with melee bioweapons from the army gain the Tyranid warriors and battle line keywords. And while such a unit is not battle shocked, Tyranid warriors models have an objective control characteristic of 3. I'm actually a fan. I think giving them a purpose is fun. Again, if you've already got tons of warriors from before, this is kind of cool. And I like the fact that it's quite thematic for Tyranids and it gives warriors something. I do question if we come away from the narrative thematic detachment thing and we go towards the whole competitive detachment, is this worth giving up things like sustained or lethal versus like infantry? I mean, no. I still think that Joe's favourite detachment is probably the strongest one. I can't remember which one it's called, adaptive something or whatever. You know the one I'm talking about, right? The one that he always runs. So we've got 4 enhancements as usual. So 10 points for Synaptic Tyrant, Neuro Tyrant model only. During the declare battle formation step, the bearer can be attached to Tyranid Warriors unit. Fan of that. That's cool, right? I like it. Ocular adaptation, for 20 points. Winged Tyranid Prime model only. Each model in the bearer's unit makes attack. Add 1 to the hit roll. Is okay. 20 points is steep for that. 20 points is a lot for that. Sensory assimilation, winged Tyranid Prime model only. Each time an attack targets the bearer's unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. That subtracts. Oh, hang on a minute. 20 points it gives you +1 to hit for the unit, and 20 points gives you -1 to hit for the unit. Okay, not so bad. I still think 20 points is a lot. For the unit, it's not so bad. Remembering as well that winged Tyranid Primes join Tyranid Warriors, and Tyranid Warriors don't go fast enough to keep up with winged Tyranid Primes. But not the end of the world. -1 to hit's tasty. +1 for the hit for the unit is okay. Invasion fleet, thanks, Deeks. And then elevated might, 30 points. Tyranid model only. The bearer's unit is eligible to declare a charge at a turn in which it advanced. This one's really nice, especially because it doesn't restrict you to Neuro Tyrant or Winged Tyranid Prime. This is Tyranid model, right? You can put this on a Hive Tyrant surrounded by Tyrant Guard. That's okay. 30 points is steep. I still think that the 10-point Death Guard regenerate all regions every phase is fucking busted at 10 points. 30 points for this is maybe steep, but this is a decent enhancement for Tyranids. Like, this is really nice. Fan, big fan. It's a shame you can't put it on a Carnifex character that can join Carnifexes. Maybe that'd be a bit too much. But hey, we can dream, right? Okay, so here we have the 6 stratagems for the detachments. The first one for a single CP, Synaptic Amplification. In your shooting phase or the fight phase, you target 1 Tyranid unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight yet this phase. If it is a Tyranid Warriors unit, select up to 1 Endless Multitude unit from your army that is not battle shocked within 6 inches of it. Until the end of the phase, each model in those units makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1, and if it is a Tyranid Warriors unit, reroll a hit roll of 1 as well. That's kind of cool. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in those units, so both units get it, reroll a wound roll of 1, and if the unit is a Tyranid Warriors, reroll hit rolls of 1 as well. So your Endless Multitude near your Warriors get reroll wound rolls of 1, and your Tyranid Warriors will also get a reroll hit rolls of 1. For 1 CP, I think that's okay, actually. Yeah, alright, you've got to have Endless Multitude next to Warriors. It's thematic and narrative, though. I'm here for it. Spontaneous Hypercorrosion. So 1 CP stratagem in your shooting phase or the fight phase. 1 Tyranid unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, add 2 to the strength characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit, and add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by Tyranid Warriors and winged Tyranid Prime models in your unit. This is still good. If you think about this, this is where stratagems are written, in my opinion, quite well. So 1 CP, add 2 to strength characteristics of range weapons. That's not necessarily for warriors, that's just range weapons. Because you select a Tyranid unit from your army that's not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Add 2 to strength characteristic. That's decent. Put it on Zoanthropes, for example, right? And add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by warriors and winged prime. So you get an additional use out of this in the fight phase if you're picking a warriors unit because you get +1 strength. You don't get it for all Tyranid units in the fight phase, but you do get it for all shooter units in the shooting phase. Right, but it does only end until it does only last until the end of the phase. If you want to use it in shooting and fight phase, it will cost you 2 CP because you have to activate it twice. But cool stratagem, I'm into it. Right. Dreadnought. They can't seem to even get a 1-pager right and consistent. See last sentence under keywords. This needs to go under detachment rule to be consistent. It's not a keyword. Yeah, well, I mean, I think if we expect them to get their rules right at this point as Games Workshop, then we're probably a little deluded ourselves, aren't we, Dreadnought? Let's be fair, right? They just don't get things right, do they? Really? Stick Monkey, thank you for the 5 gifted. Deeks, thank you for the 5 gifted, you legend. And then Dang Skippy, thank you for the 1 gifted. We're up to 12, chat. 12. That's not hitting target by the end of me reading this detachment rule, is it? Restorative Impulse. When in your command phase, target 1 Tyranid Warriors unit from your army that is below its starting strength. Return a destroyed model, excluding character models, to your unit. Okay. Tyranid Warriors, bring models back. It's like having an apothecary. It's decent for a CP. They got 5 up invuln, higher OC. Decent for a CP, that. I think that's okay. Synaptic Micronodes. In your movement phase, select 1 Tyranid Warriors unit from your army. Select 1 objective marker you control that your unit is within range of. That objective marker remains under your control until your opponent's level of control over that objective marker is greater than yours at the end of a phase. Sticky objectives. Sticky objectives, right? For a CP. From Warriors. Warriors becoming quite versatile in this attachment. And don't forget that they now gain the battle line keyword for being Warriors. Right? So you can get 6 units of Warriors with melee weapons and then 6 units with range weapons. Parasitic Payload. In your shooting phase, select 1 Tyranid Warriors with ranged bioweapons unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Until the end of the phase, range weapons equipped by models in that unit have the Ignores cover ability. After your unit has resolved its shooting attacks this phase, select 1 unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks. Until the end of the turn, models in the unit cannot have the benefit of cover. Not terrible for a CP. And then finally, Synaptic Shield. Your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. 1 Tyranid unit from your army, Tyranid Warrior unit from your army that will select as a target 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. If that unit is a Tyranid Warrior unit, well, it has to be. Wait, what? So this is where, so we talked on spontaneous hypercorrosion where writing stratagems is good. This is where writing stratagems is fucking terrible, and sometimes where I wonder how their rules writers have a job, right? So Synaptic Shield, right? 1 CP, you have to pick a Tyranid Warrior unit from your army that was selected as a target of 1 or more of those attacking units' attacks, okay? You have to. The effect, if that unit is a Tyranid Warriors unit, well, it has to be, because that's what was required at the target step. Otherwise, you can't use a stratagem. So that sentence is utterly fucking pointless. If that unit is a Tyranid Warriors unit, it has to be, because the target says 1 Tyranid Warriors unit. Games Workshop. Select up to 1 Endless Multitude unit from your army that is not battle shocked within 6 inches of it. Until the end of the phase, each time a ranged attack targets 1 of those units, the strength characteristic of the attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of the attack, subtract 1 from the wound roll. We saw this. We saw this with I think it was Death Guard or Dark Angels. I think we're going to see this quite a lot. There's still going to be a significant amount of copy and pasting going on because that's what they do. Slightly different wording to make it sound like more Tyranny, but essentially it's copy and paste. What do you mean it's not just a warrior unit? What do you mean, Resident Rum Drinker? Target 1 Tyranid Warrior unit from your army that was selected as a target of 1 or more attacks. If that unit is a Tyranid Warriors unit, well, it has to be. Oh, we're not a little bit deluded ourselves when, yeah, 100% Dreadnought, exactly. That's bad writing. That's just bad writing. Herein lies the problem of copy and pasting rules. Parasitic Payload is really, really good. Yeah, I mean, cover's quite strong right now, right? So there's your Tyranid detachment. Predominantly focusing on warriors. If you look at the stratagems, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the stratagems require the target to be a Tyranid Warriors unit. One of them gives you a benefit to non-Tyranid Warriors units, and then it gives a secondary benefit if you want to use a Tyranid Warriors unit in the fight phase. I think it's fun.
Don't know that it's a hot take, but I'm liking these so far in general. Nice and easy, take it or leave it rules for free, given what we spend there.
Brother Alan, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think I'm very glad at the moment that we've seen 3 detachments. I spoke about this last night. I'm very glad at the moment that we've seen 3 detachments, and so far, not a single one of them is like, oh God, that's too much. In my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the most competitive person in the world. Maybe I'm wrong. There's some shit with the way they've written the rules. There's always going to be that, especially when they copy and paste so much and they don't check. They copy and paste and then print. It's fucking annoying. You don't need to specify that it's a Tyranid Warriors unit when you have to pick a Tyranid Warriors unit, for example. Ridiculous. That aside, in terms of what they're trying to do and what they're releasing to us for free, yeah, actually, I agree with you. I think they're fun and thematic. This gives you a fun way of playing a Warriors heavy army if you want to. Is it the strongest? No. Absolutely not. Is it the best attachment Tyranids have got access to? Absolutely not. Is it fun and cool? I'm actually here for it. Oh yeah, I see the oddity in the wording. I thought that selecting an endless swarm unit was also the target selection. It's not, kind of dumb. Yeah. It's a copy and paste problem, ultimately, isn't it? Copy and place, and then fucking Control F, and then replace with. Tyranid Warriors is a keyword, not the name of the unit. I know. Yeah. The stratagem still says you must select a Tyranid Warriors unit, and then says if it's a Tyranid Warriors unit, which it is.
We haven't got to the Eldar yet.
Shh. We want that to be good, don't we? No, I'm joking. I don't want it to be broken. I'm nervous for the Eldar Codex, chat. I'm nervous for the Eldar Codex. I think Eldar are currently in a place where they're annoying to play against with their rerolls and their fate dice, but they're not broken good, and you're restricted as to how much you can take. The Codex makes me nervous. There's individuals that, as far as we're aware at least, are involved in writing rules that seem to like this particular faction, and it makes me nervous. I don't want my faction to be good. I don't want them to be bad, but I don't want them to be game-breakingly good. And I think the majority of hobbyists don't want their faction to be game-breakingly good. Playable, good enough, not game-breakingly good. Dreadnoughty, thank you for the one gifted. Up to 13. Unlucky for some. Do we know when the app will be updated? I don't know. Elder indirect detachment, here we go. Hopefully not. Struts are you pick a Tyranid Warriors unit and Nora both get the first bonus. What? No. No. Stratagem sets for Synaptic Shield, the one I've got the problem with, right? Your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Target. So what you then select, the unit you select as a target for this stratagem, okay? Your target that you select for this stratagem. 1 Tyranid Warriors unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Okay? So my opponent selects its targets and shoots at me, and it's selected one of its targets as a Tyranid Warriors unit. I can then spend 1 CP for Synaptic Shield, and I can pick that Tyranid Warriors unit. The effect, if that unit is a Tyranid Warriors unit, well, it has to be, because the target literally says 1 Tyranid Warriors unit from your army that was selected as a target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Ella will be busted, we all know it. Yeah, I think you're probably right, but I don't want them to be. Orcs need to stomp a detachment roll. I'm here for that. My 6 warriors and winged prime are in every list for me, but not sure the detachment is worth taking for my 1 unit. Again, if we're talking strength and competitiveness, none of the 3 detachments that have come out so far sing to me as being particularly strong and replacing what players are currently potentially using. Reading it give me a stroke, yeah, absolutely. I just don't see it. I don't see the Dark Angels one. Is it better for Dark Angels players, competitively speaking, not narratively speaking? Competitively speaking, is the Dark Angels one better for Dark Angels players than Gladius? No. Not a chance. Is it cool, fun, and narrative? I think it is. And that's why I'm going to go, I doff my cap.
Harlequins, it's all I need to be good, meaning fun.
I'm currently painting some a wraith contingent, Ben. I'm in the process of painting the spirits here. I haven't got any done today. Kids are very sick this morning. I've got some wraith blades done pretty much. I've got some others that are half done pretty much. I've started on a wraith lord and a wraith knight. I've got another wraith lord and a wraith knight. And my mind is going, what do I paint next for my Eldar? And I've got about 30 built unprimed Harlequins in a box. And I'm thinking about doing them all in my same custom scheme, the black and red, and I think that look cool as shit. So I'm tempted, Ben. I'm tempted to lean hard into Harlequins because my faction is essentially Ynnari more than just Craftworlds, because I like Drukhari, and I'm currently holding off by. I think about picking up the Drukhari Combat Patrol because I think everything in that box is safe. But I'm holding off buying anything else for Drukhari because I think that when the Eldar book is released, and they've stated that anything Drukhari that can be used in the Ynnari detachment will be included in the Eldar Codex, I think that means that the Drukhari contingent that you'll have access to as a Ynnari player is going to be reduced. I think it's going to be less than you currently can have. So currently, if you want to take anything Drukhari, you take up to 1,000 points, and you can't take anything Homunculus Covens in the Drukhari contingent, which means everything Witch Cult and everything Cabal you have access to. Cabalite Warriors, Witches, Scourges, Mandrakes, fucking the lot, right? You have access to all of those things. And I'm nervous they're going to take a load of it away. If I had more units of warriors, I'd definitely run this detachment. Yeah, this is looking for people that have got like 4 or 5 units of warriors already. Neurotyrant joining 6 gun warriors looks pretty nice. That +2 strength strat. It does, yes. Because he gives them +1 a hit, right? Yeah, I think if you've got like old-fashioned numbers of warriors when they were really fucking good before, you actually probably have a fun detachment you can use. I can see an army where half your points are sunk into warriors and this detachment becomes decent, but there's a lot of money into warriors, right? So if you've got, I don't know, let's say you've got 12 ranged ones and 9 to 12 melee ones, I think this detachment's okay at that point.
Love the approach and am a fan of as many options for players as possible. But didn't they want to reduce options transitioning from 9th to simplify?
I'll get to you, General, in 2 secs.
I'm going to buy the Aspects and Phoenix Lords.
Well, so yes, same, Ben. But I'm also aware that you can't run Phoenix Lords currently in Ynnari either. Despite the fact that narratively that's what they do. Narratively, the Phoenix Lords do fight for the Ynnari. You can't currently, which annoys me, but you know. Dreadnought, this is an interesting one, isn't it? I think that what Games Workshop have seen from their data is that actually typically for the majority of armies that have more than one option, people are only playing a certain detachment. If you think it's Space Marines, right? If you think about Dark Angels currently, well, actually, right now, Dark Angels have access now to 10, 11 detachments. 11? 7 in the Space Marine Codex and 3 in the Dark Angels book and now an extra one. So if Space Marines get another generic detachment, Dark Angels players will have access to 12 detachments. What are competitive Dark Angels people running? Gladius. Gladius is the one to take. So I think that potentially GW may have looked at that and gone, huh, people are only using a specific detachment. We want to spread the field out and give them more options. Now, unfortunately, I think that where they're going to fail, and I don't want this to be different to how it currently is, but where I think they're going to fail is I don't think the options they're kicking out at us now are good enough to dislodge the current popular detachments competitively. And I don't want them to. Because the problem we have is, and I spoke about this briefly last night when someone came in and was disappointed with the Dark Angels one. The issue I have is if the new Dark Angels one comes out that is super fucking strong and very busted, all that happens then is every single person pivots to Dark Angels. What they could do potentially is they could be looking to bring out detachments that are on par with the current incredibly strong detachments. And I really do like the idea that actually players could be in a quandary as to which one they select. I don't know which one is the better one to pick out of these two. And there, at that point, I think you're probably going to start to see a degree of variety and variation in what players at the tabletop. Unfortunately, and I don't mean this to be a dick or to be, to be controversial. Unfortunately, the rules writers for 40k aren't good enough to do that. We see it all the time. They're not good enough to bring out three. Like I'm personally of the opinion of, first of all, I think it's bullshit that some armies get 3 or 4 detachments and some armies get fucking 7. I don't like that at all. I don't like that concept whatsoever. I think every army should have the same number of total detachments available to them, right? That's my first opinion. It's not. I don't think it's that much of a hot take. It's just an opinion. And then what I'd like to be in a world where if each army said it has access to 4 good quality detachments, what I'd like to do is be in a world where those 4 detachments give a player a real headache as to which one they want to take. Every single one of those detachments needs to have something that's incredibly strong that makes you go, oh, that's good, and then perhaps a downside. Like I'm not a fan of the fact that some detachments have no downsides. I think that there should be downsides. There should be trade-offs at every selection, I think. Whether it means, oh, you get this thing that means everything's super strong, but actually you're going to restrict how many heavy support choices you can take, which they can't currently do because they haven't got heavy support choices. Another mistake that I think they've made. By not going fast sack heavy support elites, I think that was a mistake personally, right? So I want there to always be a trade-off, and I want players to be in a position where looking at this new warrior detachment and looking at the other one that they currently take, players go, oh, hang on, I don't, which one do I choose? I'm not sure. And they don't do a good job of doing that. They're just not in a place where they can do that right now. They don't. It's almost always very obviously that one's better or that one's worse. Now, for the health of the game in general, I don't want every detachment coming out in Grotmas to be the next most powerful, most broken detachment that everyone's going to want to run. I think that's bad for the health of the game in general, because all that means is everybody pivots into the new strong detachment. But you could argue potentially that what they're doing isn't going to impact the health of the game at all at a competitive level, because all the detachments that are coming out are weaker than the ones that are currently available to players. So it depends on their intent. If their intent at the moment is to just give casual players more variety and more narrative things to run, nailing it. Good job. Absolutely good job. I think they're doing a good job, right? If their intent at the moment, and we don't really know what their intent is. If their intent at the moment is shake up the competitive meta, have more variety on the tabletop, they're not achieving that, which I'm okay with. If we let the competitive people go and play with their competitive toys, I think to some extent, I think the kind of casual and narrative players amongst us, I think we have to come to terms with the fact that, on the whole, if available, if possible, we sort of need to self-police. Brom is doing a fucking fantastic job of this. Look at the armies that he's putting on the table. One war boss, different detachments. Brom is doing a good job at self-policing. Right? He's doing a good job at self-policing. Joe does a terrible job at it. That's good. 3 of them. Now you're into an arms race, though, where any Space Marine player, any army detachment is always going to be a standout competitive build. So, interestingly, Kev, I think you're right. There is always going to be a standout competitive build, and I agree with you. And I think there's some things in place that don't help this either. Dark Angels players having access to every Space Marine detachment. Is that good? Sure, these attachments aren't the strongest, but they're fun and they have cool tools. Exactly, that's my point. I think they're doing that right. I think if their goal is not to shake up competitive meta and just to give casual players new, fun, interesting narrative-based detachments to play with, 10 out of 10. 100% they're getting it right. I think they're nailing it right now. 3 out of 3 are a big win in terms of narrative balance stuff. Agree. Strong agree. If they're just showing new detachments to show the desired power level of detachers, the December data slate will be all detached nerfs. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the data slate, actually. I'm clearly in the unloved ginger stepchild group, not competing, and a fan of fluffy lore-based armies. No, I think you're right. But they're doing a good job of that. They are doing... This is where... But I think that some detachments, like Gladius, Gladius is the prime example, because at the moment, if you're a competitive Dark Angels player, or a competitive Blood Angels player, or a competitive Ultramarines player, what are you running? You're running Gladius, really, because it's the best one, by far. Data shows us, right? I'd like to see Blood Angels running the Blood Angels one, and Dark Angels running a Dark Angels one. So maybe something needs to happen to Gladius to bring it back down in line. Right? 11 detachments for my Dark Angels. I mean, I need some more, please. Yes, please, sir. Can I have some more? Making this more interesting and out of left field is good and should be encouraged, even if they aren't competitive. Agree. Do you think the big changes to Codex Space Marines will prevent non-Codex compliant chapters using Gladius? I kind of hope so. Because the second you put things like Deathwing Knights in Gladius... Or even like Sangard in Gladius, it becomes a bit silly. I'm all for it. Please don't get me wrong, but I do not understand their current whimsical approach to the game. What do you mean, Dreadnoughty? I'm interested. Assault instances are so much better in Blood Angels than in any other army. They should cost more in Blood Angels. This is where they do weird shit, right? All the time. I'll let this come through.
I'm of a similar opinion to you. Detachments need more limitations so that you are having to choose between various units and options.
So, Limey Panda, thank you for the 5. Let's wind it back. Let's ignore 7th, because people will always argue with me that 7th at the end was a complete mess, and they would be correct. With the formations that existed in the 7th was a hot mess. Despite the fact that I preferred the core rule set, it was a hot mess. There is no, there's no arguments there from me, right? So let's wind it back to 8th edition, and actually let's wind it back to every single edition that has in fact existed before 10th, right? What do we have? We had battlefield roles: HQ, heavy support, fast attack, elite, troops, dedicated transport, Lords of War, right? We had battlefield roles. 7th edition, combined arms attachment and previous combined arms attachment existed, okay? 8th edition and 9th edition, they changed that. They got rid of combined arms attachment as this is the only thing you have, and they brought in other restrictions, right? And you could take a vanguard or a spearhead or a battalion or etc, 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 right? Supreme command in 8th edition, okay? At every single one of these steps, what they had in some form or another is a form of restriction on list building. And so if you were picking rules that benefited fast units, you were restricted as to how much fast you could take, or it gave you some kind of penalty. You didn't gain as many CP, or it cost you more CP, depending on which edition we're playing, right? Because one of them you had to spend CP to buy detachments, and one of them you gain CP depending on what detachment you bought, right? But what it did is it gave you inherent restrictions. It gave you inherent downsides to certain army builds. You want to run 2 vanguards? You crack on. You can have all the elites in the world. You don't have loads of CP though. So they're going to cost you. You can do that. What we have in 10th, with the current rule set, and I'm sorry, but Pariah Nexus didn't fix this with Battle Line, is we have a take what the fuck you want, crack on approach. The only restriction being the emergency band-aid they put on in 8th edition of no more than 3 of the same data sheet unless Battle Line or dedicated transport. By the way, absolute farce that the drop pods aren't dedicated transport. And that's another story, right? So we got rid of all restrictions. in terms of list building, in terms of what types of units you can take. I personally think the game needs heavy support, fast attack, elites, troops. I think the game needs it, personally. Then what we did is we removed restrictions that existed in 9th edition, on things like war bosses and chapter masters and overlords, where narratively speaking in the previous edition of the game you could take 1 per army. Get rid of that. That's gone now. So we've removed even more restrictions, right? Then we even went as far as to say it doesn't matter what colour your army's painted. Now, removing some of those restrictions, like what colour your army's painted, I'm not entirely against necessarily. But what they've done is they've stripped away all of the restrictions. They've even stripped away, you've only got 10 points, so you can't take 4 multi-melters in that unit. They've removed every restriction. And that is why I think we now sit in a place where there is a singular build in a singular detachment that is the strongest in every faction. And I personally think that by putting restrictions back in, by giving us battlefield roles, even if we don't go down the granular route of points, by giving us battlefield roles, and for every detachment that gives you a benefit also gives you a negative, I think at that point, you start to bring in more fun into the game in general. This, you can have everything. You can have all your cake and eat it all the time approach. I'm not for it. I actually would rather see more detachments like the warrior detachment today. Personally, I think it's better. Hey, look, here's all these cool things your warriors can do. You can't put them on gene stealers. So if you want to run gene stealers, your negative is you get no detachment benefit from that particular unit. You get no stratagem benefits for those units. There's a trade-off, right? So you can take the cool carnifexes, you can take the cool gene stealers, but you won't get the benefit from your army faction. From your detachment rule. Look at Gladius. Tell me the downside.
We're doing a 1K PTS tournament with friends. The restriction forces so many choices, it made the game more fun. Restrictions are cool.
Restrictions are cool. Negatives a bad look at heresy. Why, Baron? I'm interested. I think casual players would still lose a game with that one best build against a competitive player with whatever. Yeah, I don't think I don't disagree with you, Paul. Paul is bad at stuff. Agree. I don't disagree with you at all. Variety is the thing that I really want to see. This is a problem, right? Variety is the thing I want to see more of. And at the moment, we don't have, from a competitive standpoint at least, we don't have any real variety out there. Net listing is not a new thing. Net listing's been a thing for editions. For fucking time, net listing's been a thing. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of net listing, to be fair. And it will always probably be a best build, but I want it to be less obvious, and I want there to be more fun. And I think that I've seen a lot of people over the course of the last couple of days on social media complaining about these new detachments and that they're not very good. I think GW's doing a good job on these, personally.
No restrictions on cake is why I am fat.
Oh, man, thanks for the tea, dude. What a legend. Gladius downside is not as cool as Vanguard Spearhead. Preach. Yeah, I'm excited for like, I've got Joe building a new Channel Eldar army. We're replacing the Channel Eldar army. I know I'm doing my own one, but I take a lot longer than Joe. And I've got Joe doing a new Channel Eldar army, right? And so far, he's built 2,000 points for me to play with. We've got some Scorpions, some Banshees, some Dark Reapers, some Phoenix Lords, some Shining Spears, an Avatar, some Warlocks, some fucking D-Cannons. It's a bit of everything at the moment, and I want him to add... He's got some normal Guardians, some Storm Guardians. Obviously, the new stuff's coming out, some Wave Serpents and stuff like that. We're going to be expanding the army, and what I want to do is get to a point where when the Codex drops, and Eldar have 7 fucking detachments in the Codex. When the Codex drops, I want to be able to field each detachment and show it off. That's what I want to be able to do. And I want to end up with an Eldar contingent in terms of model range, whereby GW could drop any new list, and I'm like, I can make it work. I can make it work. You can hoover up, I'll allow it.
I don't play comp and I don't play against comp, so having more fun things like this where people will just drop fun things on the table is okay by me.
But Sean, thank you for the vibe, by the way. Chat, we're also on 13 members. I'm at home with Luce. You're embarrassing me right now. All right? 197 people watching. 90 of you haven't even hit like. That's free. Interesting, Sean, that's an interesting comment, right? I genuinely am keen to know the answer to this from all of you. Like, looking at these new detachments, a lot of people that in our comment friends, like you guys in our chat, actually, I feel like are our kind of people, right? And you're looking at these detachments and you're going, yeah, they're fucking cool. I'm into it. They're fun. They're different. They're new. I like the idea. Like Joe was desperate to know what the Tyranid detachment was to see if he could run it, to see if he could run something different. Joe then saw that it needed all warriors. He's got like 9 warriors and 1 winged prime. He's like, I can't show it off properly. And he's right, he can't. He'd need like minimum 9 more warriors, I reckon, to at least have a chance of showing some of it off. And so he's a bit like, oh, I wanted a new toy to play with. And what he'll do is he'll go back to the other detachment that's good, that it's army-wide benefit. Because he will, because that's what kind of makes sense. What I want to know, though, not just from you, Sean, but from people in chat in general, you say, like, I don't play against comp, having more fun like this where people just drop fun things on the table. Do you actually experience that, though? How many of you actually experience that? Because I'm aware that I live in my own little bubble, my own little world. Joe is secretly quite a competitive person, so he'll pick the stronger stuff more often than not.
I found a local kill team club and they're looking to start a 40k crusade in the new year. They get all their comp fix in KTs, so the armies are fluffy as fuck. Most are new to full 40k too.
That sounds amazing, Resident Rum Drinker. I'm here for that. I'm Holy, thank you for the 1 gifted. You're a legend. Up to 14. If everyone drops 5 right now, chat, we'll hit target. It's cheap, innit? For good content. For recovering Liam. So yeah, I'm genuinely interested in to see whether like that actually happens. Like I really want it to be a thing. Like I love Joe to bits, but Joe will make an excuse when he loses that the army's bad. But what he'll do when he selects it is he'll try and create something skew and broken strong. But more often than not, he'll default to this is the best attachment. This is the best attachment, right? Which is fine. Paddy, also very good player, typically will pick the better detachment, and he'll naturally, subconsciously, will hunt out the good things. That's also fine, right? Eddie's not too dissimilar. He has to really force himself to take skew different stuff. The guys are all fantastic, but we play 40k a lot, so...
If the Dark Angel detachment had been available for the Hellstorm event, I would have used it then, as it fit my narrative completely.
That's amazing, Hank. That's fucking super cool, by the way. I'm a fan, right? So these people that I play with regularly, and then Brom is used to playing Paddy, Joe, Eddie, so he kind of has to kind of keep up to a point, right? So he does dial in a little bit more than... So we end up with this gaming group of people where, because we play a lot of 40k, we play quite regularly, we naturally kind of dial things in subconsciously even. I'm not even saying that people do it on purpose to be dickheads. I take the piss out of them for being gamey dickheads or super competitive or whatever. But that's not the case. It's just when you play a lot of... You end up in an arms race with friends. And I'm just curious as to how many people actually out in the wild do come across detachments that aren't just Gladius or aren't just whatever the latest broken meta one is. I'm genuinely interested to know if that happens quite a lot more than I expect or anticipate, because I don't actually go to local gaming groups because I don't need to, because we live and breathe 40k as it is. And then when I go to tournaments, it's tournaments, so you kind of expect it at tournaments, right? Joe is like, I'm not competitive, I just really, really like these super meta units. Yeah. My local club is fairly competitive, so I play very selectively and not as much as I would want to. That's interesting. Next Saints Day, you have to bring a Grotmas list, and you know we'd have so much fun with that. You probably would, yeah. How different are these from the White Dwarf detachments of 9th? I bought the Necron White Dwarfs for the odd army rule and played them for fun. I don't know. I didn't really follow them along in 9th, actually. Just didn't know if they're any good. What's the best way to contact you about doing a collaboration? I can show you some real jank with my Storm Raven and 12 Centurions. If you either via Discord, Paul, or email me, and then if you go to the About section on YouTube, there's a view email address thing. Just email me. I'm going to warn you at the moment, with things outside of just the channel, I am insanely busy, not including the fact that people are sick of shit. It might take me a little while to get back to you, but I will get back to you, I promise you. I will get back to you eventually. Right? Just please don't think I'm being a dick and ignoring you. Because that's not the case. It's just, I've got a lot, we're trying to get Hobby House off the ground, amongst other things. I've got a lot going on right now. Last time I played, I wanted to play with my vet, so I took first company detachment because that's the rules. See, yeah, but so enforcing that upon yourself is fine, right? I totally get the fact that you'll do that to yourself. But do people around you come with the same energy? Do they do the same thing? Wish I could drop some coin, but been having a hard time financially and mentally the last couple of months. That sucks, Bull. You're a member though, and I don't know if it was gifted or not, but you are a member, so please don't forget that we've got places like the mental health thread in Discord. I caught up with the mental health thread in Discord this morning. Really, really nice seeing people interacting in there and helping each other out and supporting each other. Super positive. I caught up with the Fit for 40k thread this morning. I try and catch up with Discord 2-3 times a week and get myself up to speed with some of the more important threads. Yeah. There's always a support network. I'm trying to bring a Stompermentor to 10th. I'm here for it. James, thank you for 5 gifted memberships, you fucking dancer. And Evan, thank you for the 1. Tank, thank you for the 1. You people are amazing. What does that put us on now? Harborn, thank you for 5 gifted as well. Come on, chat. Come on. Take the pressure off the team tonight. I believe in you. You can do it. People around me, 450 average salary, can't afford to play bad armies. What do you mean, Peter? What, if they're going to buy something, they might as well buy the thing that's good? We'll send something through. Cheers. I found out recently you're very local to me. Southampton, mate. As an Age of Sigmar player who admittedly... Hang on. Fucking YouTube just crashed. Good. As an Age of Sigmar who recently hasn't gone to my local tournaments in a hot minute, I can't say much, but we'd get a fair mix of casual competitive list building. A mix I'm fine with. Electman. What I don't like is going to a place to play some games and aiming for the casual and finding that everyone else is just in dick-kicking mode. Finding a position to start paying it forward. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I usually find there's one more competitive player in the group, which then starts a bit of arms race with the rest of the group, which would normally be more narrative. Yeah. White, thank you for the 1 gifted. Yeah. What are we playing tonight? AOS tonight. Slaves to Darkness preview. I know it's out. I missed it last week from being sick. Slaves to Darkness preview. And Joe is playing against Dan of Lookout Surf fame. And Dan is bringing Auric Warclans. So Slaves to Darkness, Auric Warclans tonight. And then Tom is going to produce it all by himself. But I won't even be in the building this time. I'm coming back home to look after my family. Or at least be present if they need me. I usually, yeah. I know, just being too much to reach out. I had to sort some stuff out myself to get to where I could seek help. That's fine, man. We're just there if you need us, bud, right? If I wasn't running the battlesuit list for Beachhead, I'll probably try and run something based on the 9th edition army building. Making something that looks like an actual army is great, yeah. Electman, thank you for the 1 gifted as well. You're a hero. Love you, Electman. My friend group in that everyone plays narrative as fuck and not meta chase. That sounds amazing. I want that kind of friend group. I'm making a Raven Guard list with all jump pack dudes and stealthy dudes. I won't be using the Vanguard rules because Raven Guard and Phobos style means the detachment rule means nothing. That's fair. No one will spend $500 on a bad list to try out. We use casual and forge a narrative as insult. This is how Eastern Europe is. That's fair. The real Christmas gift would be if you select the Grot-mas detachment and data sheets wouldn't be locked after a codex code. This is all the money I give you today. Electman, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Auric War Clans for the win. Yeah, Dan likes his Auric War Clans. Thursday is Tyranids versus Dark Angels. If you can convince Brom to play Dark Angels, it can be, yeah. But I'm not playing on Thursday. Sick family. I have to be at home. Lil will be lurking in chat. I actually won't be tonight, I'll be honest. Joe's posted some pretty pics in Thane's chat of the armies. Armies look super fun. For tonight... Is it tonight? Has he put it in there today? Let's have a look. Fucking Thanes is on 54 messages. Oh yeah, he has, yeah. Yeah. Join Thanes chat for exclusive behind the scenes. I appreciate what you're doing that you've set up for the community. That's not on me. That's on the community. Have you made Luce ill? Luce is not 100%. She's not sick. She's not sick, but she's not 100%. Running an outright heavy list for my ex-army. Right, chat. Here's an interesting one. If you have a faction that you play that has yet to see its Grotmas list, which is going to be most of them, let's be honest, because only 3 have come through so far. Colourful postcards. Right now, what would you like to see for your detachment? Running an outright list for my next army, expected my poo to be pushed in at Warhammer World. Yeah, but it'll look cool, right? Flash It Courts and Vampire Man myself. Joe plays both those factions. You might see slightly less of me playing AOS because I'm just kind of a bit bored of it already. All Centurion Space Marines. Fucking Paul. I hate Centurions. I hate those models so much. Votan and anything else beside what we have. Yeah, you might see me playing slightly less AOS. I'm kind of meh about it at the moment. I don't know what to say. Pure Armigers, Imperial Knights. No, we don't need that. We don't need to see that. A cool Psycho or Anti-Demon detachment for Grey Knights. Does AOS feel too fast lethal to you? It's hard to put my finger on why I'm kind of a bit... I think my problem with AOS at the moment is that every game for me just feels the same.
Guard, human wave detachment. Go full horde.
Here for it. Here for it. My issue for me for AOS, if I'm honest with you at the moment, is the model range is fucking gorgeous, right? And it pisses all over the majority of 40k.
A better Night Lord Swan.
Thanks, Deeks, for the 2. Yeah. And it pisses all like the model range is so much better than 40k in my personal opinion. The rule set is more competent than 40k in my opinion. Whenever we have an issue with AOS and we dig into the rules, we find the answer. That's all well and good, right? I think the rule set is arguably a better written rule set, right? But I feel like 40k has more excitement to it and more swingy to it.
I'd love EC, but thinking it's unlikely, so I'd settle with a melee-focused CSM list.
Melee focus sounds amazing. Melee focus CSM I'm here for. Thanks, Adam, for the 5. But AOS just feels a bit, I don't know. It just doesn't feel exciting at all. For me at the moment. It's a bit like, yep.
For World Eaters, a Berserker-focused one, with the ability to take 8 lots of 8 Berserkers.
Oh, you're singing to me now, Tank. 100%.
BT 4th Ed rules. Shoot me and they move D6 closer.
You don't want a Black Templars army with the librarians? No?
Something actually White Scar-like. You know, fecking a captain on a bloody bike G-dubs.
Yup. Oh my god, it's going mad. You lot are amazing.
My Night House narrative was all our bigs died.
All our bigs died. That took me a while to work out what the fuck that was then, Ben. Thanks for the 350, dude. What a hero.
Tau, stealth detachment that makes stealth suits battle line or something that's active all game, not half of it. Eyes.
You're not a fan of the current options, Pritters?
For Tau, a stealthy or vehicle-based detachment for orcs. Maybe a different beast snagger / squig detachment. Thanks for the great shows.
Oh, Evan, bless you. Thanks for the $5, man. What a legend. Yeah. I don't really have anything to add. Like, I think you're all... A stealthy Tau detachment sounds pretty cool. I'm into it. Tau have had some really cool stuff in the past. Although I'm a person who would like an auxiliary detachment that actually makes auxiliaries semi-decent. Like, I think that I want the recruit detachment to be cool, and it's just not.
What would you want to see for corn demons? I love blood crushers, but they're not great.
They're not, are they? Corn demons is going to be an interesting run, right?
Admech, something that doesn't make me cry.
She's out there, Sean. Unfortunately, thanks for the 2 though, dude. I think Corn Demons is an interesting one because Games Workshop have gone Corn is melee. So what do you get outside of a benefit to charge, a benefit to strength, a benefit to a number of attacks? I'd like to see a mechanic that...
Sons, Zanga Horde. CK, only big ones.
Only big ones. To counter the only little ones. I'm here for it. I feel like I'd like to see something where the amount of stuff you've killed goes into a cumulative tally, which gives you momentum points almost, and then I don't know, something like that would be cool. I just feel like when you've got melee, it gets very like bonus to charge, bonus to attacks, bonus to strength. It's like cool. Okay, I'd like to see something from Khorne where it takes into consideration the amount of like skulls you've reaped and then starts to give you something back. I think that's where I would go with it. Dead units. Explain the Lord of Skulls. Yeah. Bring back our Scorpion. Fucking right. 100%. Absolutely. I'm hoping for a Mephrit Dynasty-esque Necron gunline attachment or a Thousand Suns attachment that gives vehicles the Cabal of Sorcerer's ability. I can't comment on the latter. In fact, I don't know I can comment on either of those ones, I'm afraid. Like, man.
Tau, auxiliary detachment to ally in other factions would be awesome, or give Farsight the 8 back and just have 8 badass robots doing
that
hero
last
hammer.
part though, Wicktail, that last part. Give them the 8 back and play Tau Hero Hammer. I'm all for that. I'm here for that one. 100%. Yes. Give us the 8 back and play big Battlesuit Hero Hammer. I'm here for that one. Blood Tithe from AOS. Sort of. I mean, I'd prefer AOS Blood Tithe for my World Eaters, to be honest with you. Wee Man, thank you for 5 gifted. We got some more gifted, yeah! Thank you, Wee Man, for 5 gifted. Are you feeling any better today, dude? Love you.
Dark Eldar witches, combat drugs, variety, etc.
Thanks, Simred. Yeah, Dark Eldar, like when they put out the second detachment for Dark Eldar, I definitely feel like it's a bit better. My head is like, this is my head right here. My head is like turned this much by Dark Eldar right now, like that, not much more, just like that. Right, that's about it. So I'm fully focused on elves right now, and Drakari come under the bracket of elves, right? So they're okay, they're allowed. So I'm currently building my wraiths and my harlequins and all that kind of stuff. My head's being turned by Drakari. I quite like the Drakari on the whole. I don't like homunculus covens, which is why Yanari fits for me right now. You know, it'd be cool for World Eaters, some sort of blood tithe where you get points based on what you kill and get buffs accordingly. Too bad we never got that before and wouldn't work. No bad. Someone's still sitting on my chest. Ugh, that cough sucks, dude. I spent 2 days coughing up basically blood because I was coughing so hard it was bursting blood vessels, and then I was coughing up blood. Is the reason you can't comment? Is it the lack of knowledge on those armies? It's the polar opposite. There's 3 magical letters, which is why I can't talk about those 2. Too much knowledge. Yeah, I spent like 2 days coughing up blood, wee man. Hopefully it's not that bad for you, but wasn't nice at all, as I'm sure you can imagine. I'm sure you're currently experiencing, to be fair. Yeah, Elijah's nailed it. What we do have, though, is we have 33 finest members, chat, which means we're 67 away from a target. And 206 people watching just me on a fucking Tuesday lunchtime. Thank you, people. Thank you for being here. You're amazing. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Do I keep them at 1 o'clock, or do I, when I'm doing them, or do I bring them forward to literally the release moment and then bring up the article immediately? What do you reckon? What's your preference, chat?
We corn demonkin, soups in demons, allows Yugger lords to lead blood crushers, gives the demons the blessings of corn.
Cornate Ed has just nailed it. That's the money shot right there, Ed. $1 PM, please. 1 is fine. Okay, we're keeping it at 1, yeah? We can do that. It makes my life slightly easier, so I'm okay with it. But skim the views, do it immediately. I don't think it's going to make that much difference, though. Must be that Joe and Luce do bring the numbers. They do, look. 33 members. That's what it is. I don't think Eager Beavers read it up first, then live at 1 to discuss. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to... I think I'm going to stick with that one. Gives me time to form an opinion without your whispers. Do it before they release. If you can predict the detachment exactly, everyone gives 100 members. I'm here for that one, Paul. I'm here. Adrian, thank you for the 1 gifted. If I can predict, if I can predict. I only play in friendly environment, but most people I play with tend to stick with the meta stuff. I think unless you go for a die-hard theme, people tend to lean into what's better. I think you're right there, Toxic Deadly, to be fair. I think it happens more often than not. Sneaky Orc detachment where commandos is battle line and keep it 1. I like a sneaky Orc detachment. That sounds cool. Battle line commandos would be funny. It would be fun. Okay, we're sticking to 1. People have spoken. The people have spoken. I'd like to see something fun for Thousand Suns. Scarab Occult detachment, maybe. Interesting. John, thank you for the 1 gifted. Up to 35. I need to run to the toilet quickly as well, chat, right? So what's going to happen now is I'm going to run to the bathroom and I'm going to leave you with just chair stream for like 2 minutes. But we'll come back and 7 of you will have gifted 5. How much? Hang on, how much is that? Oh, that's not as many as I'd hoped. That'll do. 7 of you have gifted 5, right? 7 people. Just once I go to the bathroom. Yeah? You can do that? I believe in you. I believe in you. You can do it. I won't be long. No one? No one. I didn't mean to run to the toilet, to be fair, but the last 2 days I can finally taste tea again. So I've drank a lot of tea. Like a lot of tea. Now I can actually taste it again. It tastes normal. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasant change back to some normals. Do I wash my hands? Yeah, very quickly. Yeah, spit on them. All right, done. Clean. I'd give to have to buy a new car. Why have you got to buy a new car, Ed? Don't be sorry, though. What have you got to buy a new car for? Stephen, thank you for the 5 gifted. Yeah, someone did it. Thank you so much for 5 gifted, you fucking beautiful human being. Up to 40. What a legend. What's happened to your car, Ed? Did you crash it? Oh, I think you said that in Thames, didn't you? Was it the frozen... Were you the frozen central reservation man? On this non-Mercadal world, 50ish is about right, yeah. Paul, thank you for the 1 gifted. I say Paul. I assume in Paul at P. Lacey. Is it Paul? Have I guessed right? Thank you so much, P, for the 1 gifted. You fucking hero. Beautiful man. Beautiful people. That was me. Yeah, I thought that was you. The thing is, lots of things came through in Thames when I was not in a fully copus mental state. Trying to keep up with what's going on in Thames whilst being as unwell as I was actually quite the challenge, to be fair.
I want Craig to come with a detachment that allows for trench warfare style rules that focuses on rushing infantry backed by strong artillery that makes enemy charges harder. Lou.
Thanks, Mike, for your 10th ever super chat as well, you fucking hero. There is in the guard detachment a artillery based detachment, isn't there? So I'm fingers crossed. Some come break check me, and then in an effort to avoid them, I complained into the central res. Arseholes, man. Arseholes. Yeah, that kind of Krieg detachment would be cool as shit. I'd be into that. Something that sort of bogs your opponent down in artillery fire and slows them down a bit, and they have to kind of try and play around it. As long as the thing is, what I also want to happen though. So as much as I love that detachment idea, and I think it's cool, I'm here for it, right? It makes enemy charges and stuff harder. It also needs to just not completely shut down your opponent's army altogether, right? So rules, I don't like rules, and this is where GW do have a difficult task, and I kind of sympathise here. But I don't like rules where it's like, hey, your army gets this thing, but also it shuts your opponent down altogether and your opponent can't do anything. So if we take, I think it was 9th edition, if we take 9th edition Harlequins, for example, and we take the light detachment for Harlequins, that was a bad detachment. It was good in the sense that it was one of the strongest things that the game's ever seen, but it was a bad detachment because it flat shut your opponent down. That's bad. You're ruining your opponent's fun. That's bad. If it's something they can play around, and it's kind of cool narrative, that's fine. Having played against a guard list that slowed my 4-inch insurance to 2 inches, please God, no, don't. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It needs to, like, slowing charges down, but not movement is fine. -2 to charge is okay. -2 to every move is a lot. So long as Krieg infantry stop being £45 for 65 points, I can't see that happening, I'm afraid. Kill team! Hey, we're now adding cards in so we can charge you even more. Shock him. Shocking, isn't it? I misheard Russian infantry. I mean, same. I can't wait to play Legion of the First Prince again. What's that? What would that look like? How would that play? You guys rock. Yeah, they do, Elijah. Best chat. Always. Always. Next week, we'll go back to normal Liam and Joe shows as well, as I'm hoping. Death Guard getting their unit slowed down is criminal. They used to have it, but this is the thing. Like, there was so many rules in the past that I feel like things were more thought out. So Death Guard had like an inexorable advance, which was an army ride wall, meant that they weren't slowed by things that slowed movement. So they just kept trudging their 5 inches no matter what. And then they kind of don't have any of that stuff now. So when you think about things that reduce movement by 2, and you've got 5-inch moving Death Guard that are now moving 3 inches, like someone somewhere didn't think about this as an interaction. Funniest is mech gun reduced to 1-inch move. Wonder if pivot would mean it can only go forward. Oh no. A non-Magnus attachment for tomorrow. That'd be cool. Like it restricts you from taking Magnus, or that it just doesn't impact him at all. I'm here for it. Why do you use attachment with some range options to be narratively accurate? The heresy. Marching on podcast. Don't start with me. Give Wild Eaters Havocs back. DG had massive durability from army-wide Feel No Pain. Now they are one of the only factions without a Feel No Pain unit. I know, yeah. There's nothing wrong about trudging 5 inches. There's nothing wrong with 5 inches at all, no. It's all you need to do damage. Detachment rule, you can't take Magnus. That's it. That's the rule. Nothing else. And then all 6 stratagems target Magnus. That's very GW, isn't it? All the narrative seems to be in heresy. Counterpoint. Thousands of detachment, which is just 4 Magnuses. How do we feel about the so I've got some things on my shelf that I've been digging out and I've been eBaying. So we started off with the old Fracture of Beltan book from Gathering Storm because I wanted to read the Inari narrative, right? Which was a £5 eBay purchase, which I'm happy about. So we started off with that. We then went back to 6th edition Eldar Codex, which had, I mean, here's all the old Phoenix Law still, where you have actual war gear lists and points, and you have HQs that look like this with keywords, etc. A beautiful time to be alive, right? Wasn't happy there. We continued back in time with this codex from specifically, when's the date? 1999. So this is quite old in terms of rules. Phoenix Law with generic profile, added parts on for, depending which one they were, right? And then we went even further back in time. Eldar Dreadnought. Eldar Warwalker. Right, wait, even further back in time. Look at these. Right, super old, right? And I also was, when I was last in the studio, glancing at the old 6th, 7th edition rulebook. Do you know a thing that I quite miss? And I don't know if this is just me. I don't know if I'm just misremembering this at all. Do you know a thing that I really miss? Which definitely, I think, added more variety to people's armies in general. The Allies chart. I miss the Allies chart. Howling Banshees with Strength 5 Power Swords. Oh my god, yeah. Am I the only one who thinks that the Allies chart should be brought back? Is it just me? You should be impressed by all those Eldar books, by the way, and gift memberships. I still have that Dreadnought. Yeah, it's not called, it wasn't called a Wraith Lord. Eldar Dreadnought. We've come a long way, team. We've come a long way. Eldar Scouts, not Rangers. There's the Harlequin there, look. There's a Harlequin. There's a Harlequin. Scorpion Exarch. Same warp spiders that we currently have. This book is from 1994. Just gonna leave the Phoenix Lords up here. %100% should be bought back. I think so too. Oathway anti-grav platform with las cannon. Older until recently. Oh, honestly. Honestly, team. That's some of those hardcore sat on my shelf from back in the day. I would like to see Slaves to Darkness list come back from the Eye of Terror Codex.
Hey, isn't that J Company's current army there?
I love the J Companies as well. Thanks, Sean, for the $2, dude. Yeah, it might be. If I type this in now, that'll be enough for everyone to throw. Oh, I fucked it, didn't I? Try again, Liam. It might work this time. Yeah, I don't think the weight of all those models. You can kill a man with those. 7 minutes to go, chat. Then I need to go across to the studio to set up for Joe tonight. Look at the nostalgia in Liam's eyes. Yeah. I was a wet dog. Hey, puppy. What are you doing? It's a doggo, chat. Look, doggo. Doggo cam. Good cam. Oh, she's very wet. J Company sounds like an army designation. Yeah. It's about to be sent to Bastogne. Can't get any of his shit right. Thanks, Sean. Just bought the new avatar. Thought it was time to update. The new avatar kit is fucking incredible, Drew. It's so good. I've got my one here to paint. I started him already. I went for axe, and I went for long hair. I've gone for full Viking vibe for the avatar, because you can. Oh, Adam, massive retracted. What did you say? Can I read it? No, I can't. I'd like to see a priest tech marine with 4 Necromunda servitors and 4 servitor servo turrets. Fitted with 2 first chapter dreadnoughts to a Legend Leviathan and each dread with a Centurion squad. I'm here for it. Man, I just want to put this out there, but I hope I don't regret what I just posted in Discord. What did you just post in Discord? What did you do? What did you say? Is it in general? Where is it? Is it nudes?
Using your dog on me, that's just mean.
It is, yeah. We're going for the gifteds though. Because we're on 41. I was hoping we could at least get to 50. Take some of the pressure off the guys tonight. Some of it. I don't know where you've posted in Discord, yeah. I'm selling off one of my unbuilt armies. Trade and sell. Gene Stealer Colts? Ugh. Fuck doing that. Fuck actually making and painting that army. You probably made a good choice there, Elect Man, I reckon. I reckon you made a good choice there, mate, to be fair. Gonna have to make an extraordinary visit to Discord. He's selling 4 combat patrols of GC the Colts. Evan, thank you for the 1 gifted. Yeah, up to 42. Although I think I'm going to have to admit defeat today. Because my voice is starting to go and I don't think I can carry on for too much longer. And I've got to go to the studio as well, so. That's one way of reducing your ledger, yeah, 100%. Yeah, if you want some G's to the cult stuff, head on over to the buy sell page in Discord. Especially if you're stateside, because the Leckman's also stateside. Right? There you go. I helped you out there. I'm here for you. Someone let Eddie know. Yeah, it might not be economically viable if he's UK based versus stateside, eh? Not sure though. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I need to do some painting this evening, chat. I need to carry on with this little cheeky chap here. Get this little man done. He's got a grey head at the moment. His grey head is in the garage ready to be airbrushed black. So I need to get him on. I need to buy... Ash, I need to buy a fucking Corsair kill team now. I want to do a balanced data slate soon. Yeah, I assume this month sometime. I just don't know when. I'm not entirely sure. The dog's just guarding me. I don't know why. What are you doing? Fucking weird creature. Yeah, we are due a balance. I think we're due one soon. Because last time was just points, wasn't it? Right? So we are due an actual balanced data slate soon. It is, but it's regrettable, but I have to draw the line somewhere and get money for new gits. The wolf gits is... I know which one I'd rather go for, and it's not Genes to the Cults. Just let me know when you go build it so you make the models that work in Kill Team, unless you want to just make cool models. Like, yeah, both. I want it to be usable in 40k though, that's the problem. It needs to be usable in games of 40k. Side-eye for sure, yeah. Just bug it off now. I think it's because Luce... So, like, I think it's like once a month, right? Where Luce washes the dog and gives her a bit of a trim and then cleans all of her beds. But she cleans all of her beds before she's finished with the dog. So the dog comes out of the bath, gets dried off, and is like, I'm going to go lay on my bed where it's nice and warm. And she's like, there's no beds. And then she sits there and looks at you. How many Spirit Seers have you got in your 2K Wraith host list? 1. There's a Spirit Seer in it. 1.
W.E. Angron, 3x Lord of Skulls, 3x2 spawn. Versus my GK army in a friendly tournament game. I'm doomed.
That doesn't seem all that friendly, Gareth. 3 Lord of Skulls and Angron in a single list. Doesn't seem all that friendly, chat. Does it? Right, we need to go. If we can get to 50 members, I'll go. And then I can go set up for tonight. If you don't get there, I can't set up for tonight. You don't get an AOS game. I'm focused on filling out my Dark Angels and finishing my Votan and saving up for mob gits for AOS and 40k orcs to build. Sounds incredible. I'm here for it. The balance data set will probably be out before the GSC Christmas detachment, as they are changing the GSC army rule. Are they? They mentioned that last time. So many things change all the time that I can't keep up with it all. Don't worry, Grey Knights have loads of Valiant Tank. Oh, wait. The Corsair team is fully kitted to both Kill Team and 40k. Yeah, but you might build the stuff that's better for 40k and it might not work properly in Kill Team. Don't have enough for that yet. Yeah, Electman. Yeah, in time. It'll come. It'll come in time. Don't you worry. Right. I need to go and set this fucking studio up for these clowns tonight. Make army lists and stuff like that. So I need to go, chat. Are you really going to make me end on 42 members? You can do that to me? Is this what's going to happen? Make me cry. Changing car ambush again. I think we're giving Fate Dice a run for the amount of changes. Fair. I'm very glad Fate Dice is not going to be the army-wide rule in the Codex. I'm very glad it's going to movement stuff rather than shitty dice manipulation stuff. What's the game later? Slaves to Darkness versus Orc War Clans. Once I'm a successful librarian, like a psyker. You'll get there, Elect Man. I believe in you. 42, that means something. It does, yeah. It's meaning of life, isn't it? It just means that tonight they've got to do 158, and that's not fair on them. Slave to Darkness versus Orc War Clans. Yeah, that's what it is tonight, yeah. And then Thursday is... I don't know. Joe and Brom. Who knows? Holy, thank you for the 5 gifted. What a legend. The dog... I know you won't be able to hear Lise because she's not mic. The dog's looking very sad at me that she hasn't got to bed. She's been sat here, facing that way, just giving me side-eye over the camera. The whole time. Thank you for 5 gifted, D. What a legend. She's stomping at you. Yeah, because she's angry that you've taken all her beds away. No, or trimmed all her fur off in December. So Tuesday, you've already been a real boon for my mental health. You're very welcome. The units you want are all good. Okay, we're good. Will be a long game then. On Thursday. Nah, Brom's been alright lately. Depends what he brings. But I need to be home this week. But fam. Right, anyway. Holio's made it slightly better. So it's only 153 tonight now. No pressure on Tom. Running his first stream on his own forever. Literally on his own. I wait for him to be in the building. No pressure. And it's the first time he's done AOS as well, I think. So super pressure. Poor old Tom. But I need to go because I need to go get everything ready for this evening. And I need to come home and be back in time to make sure I can sort everyone out. Food and medicine and etc, etc. You people have been amazing. I think this Grotmas is going to be wildly successful for the majority of us who aren't hyper-competitive people. I think they're cool detachments. I think they're giving us fun ways of running different armies. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these detachments too. I think they're positive. We'll be doing the same again tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Tomorrow there's no evening stream because Saints are at home to Chelsea. So I'm going to watch the football with my brother tomorrow evening. So tomorrow you'll get a lunchtime stream instead. 1 o'clock tomorrow instead of the evening. And then no evening stream, I'm afraid, because football. Thursday back again, 1 o'clock here. And then the evening will be Brom, Joe and Tom again because I'm going to be here for the fam. And then Friday will be after dark as usual. And then next week it'll be a little bit more normal, but we're obviously going to keep trying to cover Grotmas as well. So I should be able to do a Saturday Grotmas. Sunday I'm supposed to be at an RTT, although again it'll depend on how well the family is as to whether I do in fact go to the RTT or not. If the family is still pretty sick, I'm not going to leave them. And then Monday we'll probably do like a Grotmas stream at lunchtime and then also do a hobby stream in the evening or something like that. So I'm not sure yet exactly. At some point I want to squeeze in some more Lego content as well. So there you go. There's lots happening, lots going on. Like I said to you last night, please make sure you got the reaction roll turned on in Discord and you won't miss a thing. We'll keep as busy as we can be, right? We'll be doing as many streams as we can be throughout December as well because we've got to pay for bills ultimately. That's why. But you lot are amazing. Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. I hope you've enjoyed the chat about the detachment. I think it's decent. I think it's the worst of the 3 so far, but I think it's decent. I think it's fun. Hopefully Tyranid players aren't too dissatisfied with it, but they've got some cool options anyway, right? So maybe they'll be okay with it. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what they said on the article was the next one. Tomorrow's next one is Grotmas calendar day 3. Tomorrow we'll be diving into the magic of Christmas with the 1,000 Suns. So tomorrow's 1,000 Suns, all right? So we get to talk about those tomorrow. And I think that covers everything. You're leaving them for soccer? Well, it's an evening at that point. They'll be in bed, won't they? We'll see. I might not even... It might be that I hand my ticket over to my nephew tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I'll be honest. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I look forward to doing some more tomorrow with you people. Hopefully you guys will come and join in tonight for the Age of Sigmar stream and support the guys, as Tom runs his first stream on his own. Hopefully you enjoy that content. Dan's a top bloke as well from the Lookout Sir podcast. Check that out. So hopefully we'll see you tonight at 7:30. If not, we'll see you in the next one.